Well, good morning. Grey Biker here. I'm going to just do a very quick video, hopefully a very quick video, of a little purchase I've made. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube recently of the Chigee AIO-5 CarPlay system, and I thought I'd try one. Now, I've seen a lot of videos, reviews, various YouTube guys, the big guys on the big channels, who know what they're talking about a lot more than I do. They're a lot nicer to look at than I am. They've done all the reviews. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is purely a fitting video. Again, I'm not going to go through every single step of the fitting, but it's more that I've found there's one little bit that nobody else is talking about. And I think maybe it's because Chigee have named it badly. And it's, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's that little box there, okay? And it's called the Chigee BMW Lossless installation mount for an R1200 RT, an R1250 RT, and a K1600. That's a load of rubbish. I mean, I'm sure it fits those bikes, positive it fits those bikes, but when you look at the bracket, which is this, I'll try and get a close-up again, I don't know if it'll work. It's the first time I've used this Pocket 3, by the way. That's what it is. It's an aluminium mount that fixes to the back of the Chigee AIO-5, AIO-5, yeah, that's it, in place of the ball mount. So what it basically means is it enables you to use these 4 holes. Those 4 holes are a standard drill pattern, which is called an AMPS drill pattern, which is 38.5 millimeters by 30.5 millimeters, and that is the same as all Garmin mounts, and I think TomTom mounts, though don't hold me to that because I've never used a TomTom, I've always been Garmin. So this bracket isn't just for BMWs. This bracket, if you've got an existing mount with a Garmin sat-nav on, that bracket should fit. I know it will fit. You'd have to double check your mount to see whether it would, but it means that it makes it even easier to fit the Chigee to replace a sat-nav. Or if you've not got a sat-nav at the moment and you just want to put a Chigee on your bike, then you can use that and use any number of the generic sat-nav mounts, from RAM mount, from any of those manufacturers. So let's give it a go. Let's see how we get on with it. I'm confident it works. It's about 30 quid, so it's not cheap, but it is a very nice bit of kit. It's solid aluminium, and yeah, we'll just see if it fits easily to my Tiger. I'm sure it will. All right, let's get started. This is the bolt pattern I was talking about. That's obviously the standard Garmin mount, but behind that, which I'll show in a minute, there's an aluminium mount which I bought off of Amazon, which fixes to a 20mm diameter bar, an accessory that I bought from a place called Cosmo Accessories in Greece, and it replaces the standard Triumph handle. Took about a week to come, wasn't expensive, and it's really good quality. I'm really pleased with that. Okay, so that's the Garmin power bracket disconnected. This is the bracket that I was on about that I bought from Amazon, which is machined aluminium. And where did I put the Chigee? Oh, there it is. You can see that that whole pattern there fits perfectly on that whole pattern there. The one problem I've got is that this plate is threaded, so you don't need any nuts behind it. They're all threaded holes. This needs to fit to the back of the AIO-5 first, and in doing that, it means the bolt heads are held captive in those hexagons there. So I need to be able to put a nut from the back to fix it afterwards, which basically means I've got to take this off and drill these holes out so that the bolt will slide straight through them. So I'll come back in a little while when I've done that. I'll disconnect all the Garmin wiring in the meantime. You don't need to see me doing that. And I'll run the new Chigee wiring as well. I'll give you a quick overview once I've done it as to where I've routed it. But yeah, I'll be back in a mo. I've modified this bracket, which was the one that was originally had my Garmin fixed to it. All I've done is drilled through those 4 holes to take the threads out, and the BMW Lossless adapter plate will now fit on there perfectly. So all that remains to be done now is to fit this plate to the back of the AIO-5, I can never get them in the right order, and fit it to the bike. So let's get on and do that. All we've got to do is to remove this little ball adapter, which is it's a bit like a miniature RAM mount, I guess. Just using the supplied Torx keys. These aren't standard Torx keys because they have a little hole in the end which supposedly makes them a bit more secure to deter thieves. Time will tell on that one, I guess. So I'll just take that off, and then this lossless plate will fit in there using the supplied bolts because they're shorter than the ones that came out of it. What I mustn't forget to do though is to make sure that I've got all of these bolts in their holes first, and these bolts came with the lossless adapter because obviously it will be impossible to get them in afterwards. And then we'll pop the big one in the middle. Ooh, 2 smaller ones. My hands are just too big for these tiny little screws. So now we can go back to putting, which way round did that go? I don't think it really matters. I think it went that way round. We can put this bracket back on there, drop a washer over, and then the nylock nuts. And I have shortened these bolts a little bit. The ones that are supplied with the lossless bracket are 30mm long, which for this sort of thing is too long. I've cut them down. They're still a bit too long, so I will endeavour to get some shorter stainless steel bolts, just to make it look a bit neater, because I'm a little bit anal like that. Being an engineer, I like things neat and tidy. So yeah, it's just a matter of tightening these down, and then we can mount it on the frame. Right, let's get this mounted on the bar, and it's very simple, this process, albeit a bit fiddly. We have a shoe that goes over the top, one that goes underneath, and it just screws straight to whichever holes you prefer to use. Which ones did I use? I think it was that pair. That should be the same sort of angle as the Zumo was, hopefully. Just nip those up a little bit. And there it is, mounted. So I've just got to plug the cables in, put a bit of a cable tie on that, and it's there. Looks rather neat, doesn't it? Right, let me tidy that up, and then I'll just give you a bit of an overview of where I've put the wiring loom running down the bike. All right, catch you in a bit. It's done. I've just got to put the side panel back on now, but let me just give you a quick view of where I've run the cables on the Tiger. It's really not rocket science, but it might help somebody, I don't know. So there we are, there's the Chigee unit, and the cables, you can see I've put the windscreen back on, just run down the side of the windscreen mount. They come down behind this section, which normally has this cover on it, which just clips into place, so that's easy enough to get in. And then I've come down the side of the tank across the top of the radiator hose, and then, let's see if I can get the camera in there, The cable comes up underneath there, follows the wiring loom down, and I've just cable tied it into the main wiring loom and then onto the battery terminals. All very simple. So if we just fire up the ignition, and what we should see very shortly, there we go, Chigee comes on, and it really doesn't take much time at all to automatically connect to my phone. Give it a few seconds. It's got a Bluetooth connection, there we go, straight into Apple CarPlay. I've not touched anything. I have obviously previously paired this when I first got it out of the box, but if I go into the My Route app, there it is. So I've got all the music on there, everything. Good stuff. So I don't know whether that's going to be of any use to anybody. I hope it is, but particularly the BMW Lossless adapter bracket plate thing, whatever you want to call it. It's not just for BMWs, it's for anything with a standard Garmin or potentially TomTom mount. So hope you found that useful, and I'll see you again in the future. Cheers.